Been traveling down these wide roads for so long. My heart's been far from you, 10,000 miles gone. Oh, I wanna come here and give you every part of me. But there's blood on my hands, and my lips aren't clean. In my darkness, I remember Mama's words reoccurred to me. Surrender to the good Lord, and He'll wipe your slate clean. Take me to your river, I wanna go on. Take me to your river, I wanna know. Welcome to another episode of Songs by My Soba. For those of you who are seeing my little video series for the first time, my name is Angela Spignice, and I'm a Peace Corps volunteer in the Republic of Moldova. And what's right behind me is my soba, which is what most Moldovans use to heat their houses in the winter. There's the first video that I did explains a little bit more about it, and I decided to sing a song by my soba once a week and give you some information about the Peace Corps, about what it's like being a volunteer, or something that is about Moldovan culture, or just a fun story that I have to share with you. It's just a little project to get me motivated and to share my experience with others. So today I am going to be talking about Peace Corps language training, specifically in the Republic of Moldova, because that's where I'm serving. Because I think that when I was invited to serve as a Peace Corps volunteer in Moldova, one of the topics that I was constantly searching on YouTube was language training, because I was very concerned and nervous and excited about learning a new language. So for me, when I applied to the Peace Corps, when you apply, you can select your top 3 countries. For me, Moldova wasn't one of my top 3. And then there's a little box below those 3 choices where you can say add any additional comments. And I said that I would be sent anywhere where I can learn a new language, because for me that was something I was very excited about and something that I wanted to do as a volunteer. Not everyone's the same. Some people, to learn a language, it's very stressful. They don't want to do it. And for those of you who are interested in applying to the Peace Corps, there are countries where where the predominant language is English, or that's the official language maybe. So you do that research before you apply if that's something that you're interested in and you would prefer not to learn a new language. So basically, when all 62 of us, I believe, arrived to Moldova, only one of our volunteers, Ethan, he knows Romanian fluently, but the rest of us, for the most part, didn't know Romanian. So we start with just these very, very basic classes when we first arrive, and then we're sent off to our host villages for the summer, for 10 weeks. And when we arrive to those families, we maybe know 10, 20 words of Romanian at most. And knowing the word does not mean you know how to use the word. So it's very scary when you're dropped off with the first host family. And for me, I was just like gesturing and trying to use what I knew. Google Translate, I typically would never have used that, but it really comes in handy when you know nothing of the language. So then once we're dropped off to our host families, we then have 10 weeks of language training. How it works is we met 8:30 to, I believe, 11:30 or 12 from Monday through Saturday at a school in our village, a local school in our village. And we have language training teachers that are from the Peace Corps. They speak, I didn't say that the language that I learned in Peace Corps Moldova is Romanian. And there are 3 volunteers that learned Russian, and they're in the Russian-speaking part of Moldova. But for the most part, we all start with Romanian. And so we have those language trainers, or our teachers basically. And I wanted to make this video just to also highlight how amazing they were, because they really, they're trained very well. They know English and Romanian, and they're really helping us get all the basics that we're going to need, all the fundamentals that we're going to need to go into our village, build trust, and be a part of the community through our language, because it's a really important tool. Even for the people that I feel like didn't think that language would be, something they wanted to learn, even they, I think, were impressed by our teachers and the whole experience of that part of our training. It was really amazing. The other great part of the language training is that because our teachers speak both English and Romanian, we're able to have very open conversations with them about culture, and I think that's something that is a very nice tool to have when you're arriving to a new country and you're feeling maybe different ways about certain things that you're seeing. You're not sure how to feel, and so to have them, just to have a conversation in your native language, and then also be learning from them is a really great thing to have. So again, we met from 8:30 to 11 or 12, Monday through Saturday, and then we would be sent home with homework, and we would also be expected to speak with our host families and interact with them as much as possible throughout the week. That's the idea. To be honest, once you're done, because after our language training, we would also have a technical training, which I can do that in another video. But once you're done for the day, you're exhausted because it's an 8 to 5. It's like a work day basically, but most of it is in another language. So you're exhausted. So the interaction that you have with your host family would vary. Some people were very active. I typically would, have a little conversation with them, but then I'd have to retreat to my bedroom because I needed that time to just decompress because I really couldn't handle anything else for the day. Plus I had homework and had to prep other things. And also as a health education teacher, we are taught specific terms and phrases that are connected to health education. So Peace Corps does a great job of making sure that you have the specific Romanian for your sector, whether you're community development, English teacher volunteer, English education volunteer, or a health education volunteer. And for health educators, we also have to prep our lesson plans in Romanian, and we teach in Romanian. We do not teach in English. Some of us may have partners that speak English, but for the most part, our day is fully in Romanian while we're in our site and working with other Moldovans, So for us, the language training is very important because when you're, going straight to school and expected to speak and interact with kids in another language, it's something that you really need to feel comfortable with on, at least on a certain level. But all of us it's important really for any sector that you're in, because the more that you know the language, the more that you can connect with other people and build trust. And something else I wanted to mention. Oh, also at the end of our 10 weeks, we then have an oral evaluation, and it's recorded, and then we are graded, or not graded, but given a certain level. It's either intermediate, beginner, intermediate, all these different levels. And then if you pass that, then you're able to be sworn in as a volunteer. They give support to everyone and try to make sure that everyone passes that. For our group, everyone went through. And then in November and then later in March or April, we have a language training weekend where we're brought back, given more materials to then review what we've been continuing to work on at our sites. At our sites, also, we can get a tutor. We would have to find them on our own in our villages, and Peace Corps reimburses us a certain amount a month to have those tutors. And some people get them, some people it's really hard due to their village and their setup. And for others, it's easy. I was able to get a great tutor my first year. In my second year, I really just wasn't able to get one, and then it was just kind of hard. So each person's experience is very different. But I would just have to say that language training in the Peace Corps in Republic of Moldova was excellent. We had so much fun because you become like a family with the volunteers that you're with during training, and with everyone really, but especially when you're in those language classes together, because some days we would just be laughing about nothing because you just feel like you're going crazy sometimes because you're just speaking in Romanian and you're forgetting words in English, you're forgetting words in Romanian, and it really is such it's one of my favorite moments and most memorable times in the Peace Corps is that language training. And yes, look up Romanian. I think it's a beautiful language. Some volunteers maybe don't agree with me, but I think it's beautiful, especially hearing it how it's spoken in Romania as well, because they have a different accent and different dialects as well. But yeah, so that's a little bit about language training in Moldova. And yes, another video I'd like to maybe give you a little bit more information about the Romanian language and maybe teach you a few terms or a few words. But I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day.